Let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a phenomenon that is absolutely foundational to modern global business. We are looking at the rise of Indian IT services. I mean, if you've ever wondered how multinational corporations manage their massive digital infrastructures, or how banks process millions of transactions flawlessly across time zones, the answer almost always points back to one specific, totally invisible engine.
So the big question we really have to ask ourselves is, why does the world run on Indian IT? How exactly did one country's technology sector become the indispensable backbone for nearly every Fortune 500 company on the planet? Well, it definitely didn't happen by accident, and it for sure didn't happen overnight. It is this fascinating story of strategic scale, relentless process maturity, and continuous evolution.
Let's bust a myth right out of the gate. For a long time, the old perception was that this industry was built strictly on low-cost offshore labor. Just a massive back office doing repetitive tasks. But today, the reality is completely different. According to industry analyses, these firms didn't build their reputation just by being cheap. They built it by offering high-quality engineering, massive large-scale execution, and ultimately transforming themselves into global innovation hubs. To really wrap our heads around the magnitude of this shift, just consider this number: $100 billion. According to May 2026 data from Reuters and NASSCOM, India's Global Capability Center sector alone generated nearly $100 billion in revenue, employing over 2.3 million professionals. We are talking about staggering, literally unprecedented scale in software engineering, AI, finance, and R&D.
Section 1. Unmatched scale in STEM talent.
See, India produces one of the world's largest pipelines of STEM graduates every single year. The whole education ecosystem, which is anchored by super competitive engineering institutions like the IITs and NITs, creates this massive pool of talent with really strong math and English language proficiency. Because of this, if a global bank suddenly decides they need to migrate their entire infrastructure to the cloud, an Indian IT firm can rapidly scale a highly skilled team from 10 engineers up to 10,000. It's honestly like mobilizing a specialized digital army overnight. And since tech evolves so incredibly fast, these companies run intensive internal reskilling platforms to keep their workforce perfectly sharp on the latest technologies.
Section 2. The global delivery model.
McKinsey identifies this as India's biggest structural innovation. It's the absolute benchmark for global IT services. Instead of doing all the work in a client's home country, they pioneered this brilliant follow-the-sun workflow. Basically, the day might start with business meetings in New York, then the system architecture gets designed in London. As the West Coast goes to sleep, active development fires up in Bangalore, and 24/7 support is operating out of Hyderabad. It enables this near-continuous, round-the-clock development that leads to vastly faster delivery cycles.
Section 3. Decades of trust and quality. Now, you simply don't get to run the world's financial systems without some intense, rigorous standards. Indian companies were actually early adopters of internationally recognized quality frameworks, things like CMMI, ISO 9000, Six Sigma, and ITIL. And these aren't just corporate buzzwords, right? They represent a deep, ingrained commitment to exhaustive documentation, zero-defect risk management, and super strict corporate governance. This kind of process maturity is precisely what built decades of rock-solid trust with global enterprises.
And that process maturity translates directly into real-world applications. We are definitely not talking about peripheral software here. In banking, they're running the core systems protecting your money and detecting fraud. In healthcare, they manage highly sensitive electronic health records. In retail, they're powering the global inventory and e-commerce platforms that, let's be honest, you probably use this very morning. They are trusted with the most mission-critical digital infrastructure on the planet.
Section 4. Shifting to AI and innovation.
The evolutionary leaps this industry has made are just incredible. Back in 1999, the Y2K crisis was a huge pivotal moment. Indian firms proved they could deliver massive, mission-critical projects by essentially saving legacy systems all over the globe. That credibility led right into the 2010s, driving the massive enterprise cloud migration boom. And today, looking at 2026 and beyond, they're sitting at the absolute forefront of generative AI and advanced digital transformation.
This evolution has birthed a new term you definitely need to know: GCC 3.0. According to NASSCOM reports, global capability centers in India have officially leveled up. They are no longer just offshore cost centers meant to shave a few dollars off the budget. They are highly integrated global innovation hubs that are actively driving digital partnerships, new product development, and incredibly high-value technology services.
But there's a really important nuance to this.
A recent Reuters insight highlighted that with so many multinational companies rushing to build their own internal GCCs in India, some people thought traditional IT outsourcing might just die out. But the data shows the exact opposite. This insourcing boom does not spell doom for outsourcing. In fact, global tech executives confirm that Indian IT firms remain absolutely essential partners for scaling operations, driving innovation, and providing complex managed services right alongside those internal hubs.
Section 5. The future of global tech integration.
Okay, so to truly understand the balance of power in global tech today, you have to look at the dynamic between platform owners and integrators. The platform owners, meaning the companies that actually own the massive public cloud infrastructure and the cutting-edge AI models, well, they are largely based in the US. But Indian IT firms, they are the undeniable integration leaders. They might not own the foundation models themselves, but they are the indispensable bridge that makes those models actually function, scale up, and deliver real value for Fortune 500 enterprises.
Ultimately, why do global enterprises continue to rely on Indian IT firms? Well, it boils down to a highly specific combination. You have deep engineering talent, that proven 24/7 global delivery model we talked about, unmatched process maturity, instant scalability, and a relentless, ongoing investment in new technologies like AI and cloud computing.
As we wrap up this explainer, there's one insight that synthesizes this whole reality perfectly. Despite rising global competition, Indian IT services companies remain among the world's most influential providers of enterprise technology services. Decades of sustained, highly strategic investment in talent and quality have totally cemented their unquestionable leadership position.
So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. The next time you pull out your phone to book a flight or check your bank balance or just do some online shopping, take a split second to ask yourself how much of your daily digital life is quietly, flawlessly running on Indian IT. The answer is probably a whole lot more than you ever realized. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking questions and keep exploring the hidden systems that run our world.